There they go into the back. The blue light on. We have a race, and Satnova's beaten Pure Steel out by a length and a half.
Welcome to Talking Trots, hosted by Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
The sensational Sydney sider, Seals to Sam, comes off the back straight. He's a bucket load of alliteration, this fellow.
Scott Bomber Hill will join the boys to look at the Friday night meeting at Gloucester Park, and Hayden King will find the winners for the weekend's racing.
Here comes Quinny. I'm the mighty Queen is 4 deep and letting go.
Sit back and enjoy Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
I'm the mighty Queen is just in front. Dasher VC can do no more. And the West Australian champion has done it again.
Yes, hello and welcome to another big edition of Talking Trots here on Tab Radio and the associated podcasts, and looking forward to another big night tonight. Big special guest of Greg Bond, who has a number of really good chances tomorrow night, as usual, at Gloucester Park, and we'll also talk about his horses that are coming back to racing very shortly. A big night, a big week in racing. Announcement last week of the changes to the Pacing Cups, which we will discuss as well. But as I introduce Glen Mortimer, a big congratulations to our man Justin Prentice and his lovely wife Jacqueline.
Yes, there's a new Prentice in the world. Baby Polly Rose arrived on Monday, it was.
Monday?
Polly Rose. So going to have an older brother, Carter Shane, who can look after the younger sister as they grow up. So congratulations to Justin and Jacqueline Prentice.
Oh, I think he's very lucky that Deb lives on the property, because he might need it over the next coming weeks.
She's a good scout. Michael, big week in harness racing, which we will talk about a little bit later on. Toughish night last Friday night on the punt. Bomber down 4 at GP, but he did get the multi at $3.
Yeah.
Now, Hayden, I was going to bring him a mirror. Got off to a flyer with a win at Calabaran with Our Lady Jen getting the cash, and then paid the ultimate price of tipping a horse in a standing start trot. Is it still galloping?
It was a while.
It was a while.
It was a while.
But some great pacing at GP last Friday night. Strong win, fly to fame for Cat Warwick and Chris Lewis in the first. Good aggressive drive. Shannon Savelko in the second aboard. Blitzen by. Wonderful to fly, has just gone to another level altogether. Nazavira just absolutely filled the Tab Touch account chock-a-block. What a great win there by Dylan Edgerton Green, who came on the show and walked away with a double, training and driving.
After the second one, I said to Dylan, how's the track? He says, I love it. I've won 2 races.
And Arden's Horizon continues his stellar form for Callan Savelko. GP Friday night, training double to Dylan Edgerton Green and Gary Hall Sr. Driving double to Dylan Edgerton Green and Gary Hall Jr. Calabaran Sunday, training treble to Sam Torre.
Okay.
It would have been a while since Sam's had a treble. That was great to see. And a driving treble to Shannon Savelko. Training Cup won by Gordon, trained by Will of Lemmix, driven by Corey Peterson, easy winner. Pinjarra Monday, training double to Gary Hall Sr., driving double to Stuart McDonald. And GP Tuesday was a driving treble to Madison Brown. One of them paid $41, one paid $5.50, and the other one paid $51. So if you had the all up on Madison Brown, you are loaded.
Sure were. And yes, and actually we got through the meeting again. Another bout of rain at the Gloucester Park meeting on the Tuesday. We had 30 mils overnight the previous night. The track was in good order, and then obviously got rain towards the end of the night. But one man who missed the rain because he was in races, I think 1 and 3, was Team Bond. And Greg Bond's about to join us. But as we do, one of his team's resuming tomorrow night in Tenzing Bromac, who looks a horse on the rise. It's a really good race, that condition pace. It's a number of really good chances tomorrow night. But before we get to Greg, let's go back to Tenzing Bromac's last win, which is the last run of his last preparation. He's first up on Friday night. Let's see how he did it the tough way outside the leader.
A 5-star General starting to whip home, but Aussie Scooter joined by Tenzing Bromac. To the outsiders, I'm a 5-star General. Then came Middle Page. Tenzing Bromac hit the front though. I'm a 5-star General. Aussie Scooter, Middle Page coming through as well. Tenzing Bromac in front. I'm a 5-star General. Can't get there, and Tenzing Bromac is going to hold on. Tenzing Bromac has won a tough win from I'm a 5-star General.
Yeah, it was a tough win, and he resumes tomorrow night at Gloucester Park. And one half of Team Bond joins us tonight in Greg Bond. Bondy, welcome to the program.
Yes, Rads, how are you going? And Morts, how are you travelling, mate?
Exceptionally well, thank you, Bondy. How about yourself? Good?
Oh, yes, it's a little bit chilly these at the moment, just down the barn now, finishing off for the day, so rugged up. But yeah, no, everything's going great here. Thank you very much.
Stable is going nicely, Bondy?
Yeah, going good. We sort of got a few working up, getting ready to race. We haven't had quite as many racing of late, especially on the Friday nights, but that's probably changing a bit tomorrow night. And yeah, moving forward, we'll sort of have some more representation, probably on the Friday nights moving forward. So which is good.
Actually, it's been a pretty good year for you so far, Bondy. We're halfway through it, but your strike rate at the moment for wins is about 32%, which is it's been the best that you've done in the last 10 or so years. You normally hover around that 30% or just below, but 32% is actually pretty good at the moment. You must be pleased.
Yeah, look, I've always sort of applied the theory for what it's worth that probably one of the best measures in life's consistency. So if we try and sort of target that 30% winner ratio and generally try and win and place around 60%. And if you're doing that, then generally the bills are getting paid and you're keeping the nose in front. And we're achieving that so far this season, and hopefully it'll continue for the back half.
Well, I can't see any reason why it wouldn't, Bondy, because you've got a very good team there at Gloucester Park tomorrow night in the first, which is a cracking race. That's a really, really good field. You've got Fess Up, who unfortunately is drawn out wide in barrier 8, but he's been in fantastic form. Tough draw in a good field.
Yeah, look, he was a nice 2-year-old. We had a few steering issues with him, and he was a colt as a 2-year-old, so he's now 2 stone lighter, as we say, and this prep he's really turned the corner. Very, very happy with this bloke. He's probably developed into a legitimate Derby prospect later on in the season. Look, with the conditions of the race, he was always going to draw the outside, but we elected to put him in just because sometimes, obviously we're not going to be coming off the arm. We'll set him up and drive him quiet. But we just felt there's some real good horses in the race. He's one of them. Probably the barrier draw takes away his winning prospects. Obviously, Mr. Smarty comes with a great reputation. His form in New Zealand prior to coming here was absolutely exceptional. So he's probably the winner. But yeah, it's more about developing the horse and preparing him for hopefully some, the Derby and other good races later on in the season. And I'm sure he won't disappoint tomorrow night. He'll find the line strongly.
Well, I think he's probably the horse that's improved the most from his 2-year-old season to his 3-year-old season, Bondy. And he's probably taken me a little bit by surprise of how much he has actually improved.
Well, he has. I wasn't sure what we were going to have. We definitely knew he needed to improve to go to the next level. But yeah, I don't know whether it's been the gelding and a combination of that and maybe a bit of maturity but his work here, his attitude, his eating is just perfect. Loves his work, and and he's taken all that to the races to date. And as I said, it was probably putting him in tonight, tomorrow night, drawing wide was probably going to be a little bridge too far to beat Mr. Smarty and those. But it's about developing him and hopefully preparing him for the big races later on in the season. But he's come back great. We couldn't be happier with him, and we're looking forward to the future.
Certainly going to be a great string of 3-year-old races later on this season. You look at that first race there with Mr. Smarty, comes with a very big reputation. Skylord, You can't fault the form, Star Lavra, how much that's improved, never been better. Crowd control. It's just it's a great field.
They're all waiting for Never Ending, aren't you, Bondi?
Yeah, well, I guess he's the benchmark,
isn't he?
As we all know, and he'll turn up, and he's there to be beaten, and we've got to work out how we're going to do it. But at this stage, he's a wonderful horse, and he's going to be the testing material for sure.
Yeah, well, we knew it was a good 2-year-old crop, but they've actually all developed, haven't they?
Absolutely.
Well, they do, and some develop more than others, and so there's enough 3-year-olds around, which means that the Derby's going to be a race full of depth, no doubt, and that'll give everyone their opportunity to test Never Ending. But as I said, he's the benchmark as we speak, and he's a horse we're all chasing at this point in time.
Yeah, looking forward to those 3-year-old races later in the year. Coming up in race 3, Bondi, you've got one of the old timers. Ran on well last start when they came home in 28, 3 and 27. And the start before he flashed home late to run third. Got a nice draw in this in a pretty even sort of field. Must be some sort of each-way chance.
Yeah, look, we've been very happy with him. Galactic Star, he's sort of probably, obviously, he's past his prime, but all his runs this time in, we've been really happy with. He just hasn't snagged a gate, so he has tomorrow night, and it's probably he's out of the condition race. He's back to a less than 25 last 5 race. So look, we'll probably look to hold up tomorrow night and give him his shot in front. There's a bit of speed outside us, so we'll come off the arm nice and hard, and we'll burrow through and plan to if we can find the front early. Our plan will be to give him his shot in front tomorrow night in this grade and see how he goes.
Certainly will make for an interesting race if he can hold up.
Currently about 320 equal favourites with the code breaker on his outside. Equal favourite about 320. So it's a really good betting race tomorrow night, that race.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It's very open. The Mustang, if they elect, it's 2,500 if they elect to cut the arm with him, and the code breaker, of course. But no, we'll be doing our best to hold up early, and if we can do that, then I think we'll park in the van and do our best from there, give him his shot.
And of course in race 4 we've got the stand over 2,503 metres, and the start there is going to be absolutely crucial. You've got Himself, which is a serious horse, second up, Face the Breeze first up, but does get 50 metres on Magnificent Storm, and you would think, Bondi, if he steps well, you've got to be extremely hard to beat.
Yeah, look, it is a good race for him. Obviously, Magnificent Storm being in it is he's the X Factor horse, but that handicap is a big handicap, and we're very, very happy with how Himself has trained on since his first up run, which I was over the moon with. They broke 156 for the 2100, and he sat parked and never give it away. And he's trained on great from then. So, look, I'm expecting a really forward show from him tomorrow night. We'll obviously, first thing is to get him away nicely, and there's probably 2 or 3 off the front row that'll all probably be looking for the front. So I'll let Denny assess that. But it'll be a good, even, strong run race tomorrow night. We'll when we have to get going, we'll get going and put him into it, and we'll sort of work to run some time and make it as hard as we can for Magnificent Storm to make up the ground off his handicap, and hopefully that's enough to hold him at bay in the last lap.
Yeah, he's a super horse. He'll take plenty of holding out, but like you say, the start there very, very important. And then in race 6, you've got Might Have Time. A very strong win last start. Opened $2.05 favourite ahead of Watching Our Coin. Good win last start, Bondi.
Yeah, look, the first run was good, but she actually over-raced on us badly at Pinjarra when she led, and then and we ticked around with her, and we sat her up, and she actually she hit that top bend of Gloucester Park just that fast and just got on her knee and rolled out of her gear, but it was still a good effort. So we now think we've got her about right, and she showed that last Friday night. So she's definitely got a really good turn of foot, and she's got some bottom to her as well, being a better than Cheddar horse. So Danny will be coming off the arm nice and hard tomorrow night, and all being well over the mile, we'll endeavour to hold up, and doing that, I'm sure she'll be very, very hard to beat. Yeah.
Yes, agree. And then in race 7, very interesting race. You've got Prince of Pleasure drawn 1, Finvara in 2. Jetstar looked disappointing last start, and then you've got Tenzing Bromac, very nice horse first up. Prince of Pleasure very short at $1.22, Jetstar $14, and Tenzing Bromac $10. How do you expect them to go tomorrow night, Bondi?
Yeah, look, Jetstar's run last start was disappointing, but we couldn't actually find anything other than I think it was trainer error. I probably went to the well once too often with him. I was trying to actually split himself up from the condition racing, and I went one more time. But then he said when she went out on the track and warmed him up, he just, he normally grabs a bit and that sort of stuff, and he just wasn't there, and even in the run, and people like yourself and Rads would know when he can get on the chewy a bit, but that night he just never got on the bit. So I'd probably disregard that run. We've kept him home. I think it might be 3 weeks now. And look, his work's great. Hobbled on Monday morning, and was strong work. So probably disregard his last run. Probably going to be outside Prince of Pleasure, which is might be a bridge too far for him, but I'm guessing probably Finvara will take the back of Prince of Pleasure, and that'll leave Tenzing Bromac in the 1-1. And he is very forward, so I probably thought $10 was a bit generous on him, because he's a horse that we've got no doubt will be a free-for-all and could even be a Cups contender later on in the season. So it'll be interesting to see how he goes. He is first up, but he is forward. So look, I expect both horses to be very competitive, but Senior's obviously got the whip hand with his 2 drawing barrier 1 and 2, reverse the barriers, and I'd probably be a lot more upbeat, but I'm pretty sure that both ours will run very strong races.
Yeah, makes it very hard with those 2 drawn inside. But Tenzing Bromac, obviously the value there at $10. And in the last, Bondi, you've got a horse by the name of Inner Wink. 2 starts ago was 5 wide on the turn and was still very strong to the line. Beat home Naze Vera, who came out and won the Western Crown last week. And then last start got home really, really well to run 5th. Small field, only 5 starters now. Favourite is San Remo Beach at $1.80. Second favourite at $3.20. I've been fairly impressed with the horse's last 2 runs, although he's been unplaced in one of them.
Yeah, no, look, she's a nice little filly, Morts. Probably still learning the caper, but got a really high speed. She's actually a full sister to in the spotlight. So I actually bought this one at the yearling sale in New Zealand. Look, it is a nice race for her. She's trained on from her runs really good. This will be her last run tomorrow night, and then put her head on the grass for a couple of weeks, and she's paid up for the diamond, so she'll head there. But yeah, look, very much a winnable race, but being only a 5-horse race, it might be devoid of speed, unfortunately, and it could possibly be an Indian file affair. But look, she's definitely a horse that's got more than her fair share of ability, and wouldn't surprise me 1 inch if she won tomorrow night. If she doesn't, she'll run a great race, and she's a horse with a bright future moving forward.
Yeah, certainly seems to have some ability, and it's just a matter of finding the right race for her, and she'll improve over time, no doubt.
Yeah, and Bondi, just going back to last week as well, you must have been really happy with the way Mighty Conqueror's come back. He's had 2 runs. He's been beaten by Magnificent Storm and Shockwave, and I'll tell you what, Danny's argument in the stewards' room was pretty convincing. Not convincing enough, but I thought she did a good job, and geez, it was a good performance.
Great, yeah. We gave him a longer break after the Cups, and we just had one of those trouble-free runs with him, touch wood, to date this time in, and his work and everything was really pleasing us, and there's been no hoof issues to date, and so he's 100% sound. He's really on the top of his game, and we elected to trail up the first one, which made good sense, we thought, and we thought we'd take our shot the other night, and to the horse's credit, he was he fought it out to the finish. I mean, I thought personally the stewards erred. They tried to suggest we got up the track, but our head was turned down. We weren't getting up the track. We're trying to get away from the bloody pressure. But anyway, that was that. But look, that doesn't take away from how the horse went. So we're over the moon with him, and we're looking forward to hopefully continue to have a trouble-free program with him. And looks like we got him back somewhere where near his best, and he's going to be very, very competitive in any race he competes in moving forward.
Yeah, he certainly showed that. It's great to have him back. And talking about having horses back, there's a pretty impressive lineup here of horses which we hope to see back fairly soon. And I talk of Minstrel, Steal the Show, Patronus Star, Street Hawk and Ideal Agent. It's a fairly impressive lineup of horses there, Bondi. How are they, whereabouts are they in their preparations?
Yeah, look, probably Patronus Star is just about ready to go. He just had a hoof abscess the other day, which sort of set us, but we lost him for a week. So he's probably only a couple of weeks away from going to the races. Still the show, he's very forward. He actually hasn't had a hopple run yet, but just with all that rain, I just kept galloping him. But he'll hopple tomorrow morning, and but he'd only be, I would think, three to 4 weeks away as Street Hawk's working up with him. So they'll be very, very, very similar. Ideal Agent's one that you won't see him. He's coming back from a leg, but he's working up great. We haven't put the hobbles on him, and we won't for probably a couple of months yet. But so he probably, likely, he wouldn't be a Pacing Cup contender this year, but hopefully he'll be maybe a slot or a Fremantle Cup horse. Vampiro's also not too far away as well. He'll probably be a fortnight away. Minstrel's probably 2 weeks behind them, so he's probably 4 to 5 weeks. So we've got some nice horses heading back, and hopefully they'll have good. Those free-for-allers will have some good winter campaign, and with the viewpoint, hopefully then have a little break and come back and see how many we can get into the Pacing Cup in November.
Yes, and just an update on a couple of your 2-year-olds, 10 to the dozen, and Great Boulder.
Yes, both Great Boulder's been back in work a while. He's also 2 stone lighter.
He needed it.
He wanted to run the races his way, not our way. But right. Look, we've just been giving him a lot of steady pace work, and he's been going along beautifully at the moment. So we'll probably take him to trials not that far away, I would think, but. Probably, he settles great when he's on a jacket. It was just that mobile. And once he got off on the mobile, he was off and gone. If he drew the back row in one of those races, he would have been fine. But obviously you can't rely on that week in, week out. But we'll probably just even maybe jump him out of the stand a couple of times at the first trials just to get him off that and just let him settle and go from there. But look, he's a horse with a enormous amount of ability and potential, so hopefully we can do that. 10 to the dozen and Prince of Pain, they've both been back in work about 3 weeks now. They're working up to head to the Pearl Classic. The little master, he's back as well. He just had a short little break, and he'll head to the Pearl as well. So we've got a good little bunch of 2-year-olds. I think we've got about 9 or 10 here at the moment, would you believe? But so
Sky's busy then.
Yeah, well, I must admit, I sort of focus on the older ones, and Sky does those. But no, we've got between Sky, Denny, and Craig Salagari's working for us now, and he's excellent with the young horses. So we've got a good set of hands there with those ones. So that makes it good. They're getting work good and work proper, and we're looking forward to seeing what they can deliver in the back half of the season, because that's where the 2-year-olds, the good ones, come out, and they all being well, they look like being very handy quality 3-year-olds for next season as well.
Yeah, it looks a nice 2-year-old season coming up as well. And we can't let you go without asking about the change in the dates for the Cups. How did you find the Pacing Cup moving to November and the Fremantle Cup behind the Nullarbor?
Yeah, well, I thought, and obviously there was probably a lag time from April after the trilogy for, I guess, all codes to have their performance assessed, and for Rawa to probably, stick their hand up and say, yeah, we're going to do it again. But I think probably moving the Fremantle Cup to a week after the Nullarbor was probably, well, in my opinion, I think it's a great move. And once you've done that, I guess then you had to reassess what you're doing with the Pacing Cup, I'm guessing, and as I understand it, it's all about turnover and revenue, and the November time slot seems to be a great one for that. So I'm all for it. If the numbers stack up and say it's good for the industry, then as far as I'm concerned, it's good for me. And I think we should all embrace it and get on with it, and let's see how it goes. The numbers don't lie, and I'm all for it. It'll mean I'll have to change my program with some of my free-for-alls a little bit. They won't have as probably big a winter campaign as what they might normally, but that's okay. We'll tip them out a bit earlier and give them their break before the Pacing Cup.
Yeah, it just seems that a few trainers might have to just make a few tweaks along the way to make sure the horses are there and ready to go. But like you said, Bondi, the numbers don't lie. So hopefully it will be increased turnover for the industry, which is good for all of us. So, we'll just see how it goes and review it after that.
Yeah, well, it's... we need to keep improving where we can, because we from a turnover and revenue point of view, obviously that's how we're measured, and we need to do the things we need to do. But with the announcement coming out, it's close to 5 months prior to the race, so you're really bringing it forward 2 months. So probably to me it's. We can manage our horses doing that, and I'm sure most other people can. And as I said, if it's good for the industry, then it's good for everyone.
No, that's. I think that's exactly right, Bondi. So we'll discuss it a little bit later on. But mate, thanks for your time. It looks like you've got a really good team heading to Gloucester Park tomorrow night, and a big team about to come back in. So I'll be looking forward to those horses hitting the track. But good luck tomorrow night. We'll see you at the track. All
right, guys. Thanks very much. Have a good evening.
Good on you. Greg Bond there, one half of Team Bond with Sky. And, I mean, as we're talking about the Cups, it does come back to numbers. I mean, you've got to look at the data, and then you've got to act. There's no use having data if you're not going to act, Morts, and you know that better than anyone else as a general manager of a retail outlet.
Absolutely. I think having the Fremantle Cup and then leading into the Pacing Cup 2 weeks later, it was almost the exact same field. And they're just that time of the year. I don't know, January certainly changed. A lot of people are still away, just not as much focus on the sport. I think the Fremantle Cup, personally, I think the Fremantle Cup going after the Nullarbor is brilliant.
Yeah, well, you're a sponsor of the Fremantle Cup as well.
Yeah, so from my perspective as a sponsor, I think it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
I think the opportunity to have some national focus on the race, if we're lucky enough to get some horses across for the Nullarbor, for that slot race and they hang around for the Fremantle Cup, that'll be fantastic for the Fremantle Cup in terms of turnover, in my opinion. And the Pacing Cup's gone back to a time where, when we've looked at some of the races previously, where the numbers have been good. So hopefully this will be exactly the same. As Greg said, 5 months to change his, change plans for a couple, which he said he can do. I'm sure it's not going to be easy for all trainers, but...
Well, on the numbers, of the 10 top wagering races of all time in WA harness, 7 have been in November, December. 1 has been in late October. And then you've got the Nullarbor. Only 1 of the other races has been post New Year, and it was in February, in the peak of COVID. So the numbers don't lie, and we need to maximise wagering. If we don't maximise wagering, we're already getting the other 2 codes coming at us. There's a definite softening in wagering at the moment. You just can't create wagering. I mean, and there's a softening now. There's just the other economic, as you would see as a retailer, Morts, the economic conditions at the moment with the increase of interest rates and all that has an impact on discretionary spend and all that sort of stuff. And wagering has dropped off in the last 2 or 3 months. There's a clear sign of that. So to maximise wagering, we need to go into the best spaces to maximise those races. And you can only go off what you see on the data and how to increase those races. And this is, on the data, this will increase turnover, which is what we need for the industry, because Racing Victoria just announced a matter of weeks ago a $10 million decrease in distribution. Now, there's strong mail that there's a harness racing jurisdiction that's going to announce a decrease as well. We're in the last year of that guaranteed funding increase, where we got 1.4 out of the 9 point whatever of distribution from RAWA, which is an increase. But certainly our return on investment and market share is having a massive pressures on WA harness, which is why we need to make these changes to increase the wagering. Because if we continue to do the same things, it's not going to increase wagering.
Just get the same result. So how did the decision come about, Michael?
Oh, look, first of all, we had to wait for the Nullarbor result, and there's a lag in getting the information as well. So it's not information of we get it the next day or whatever else. It can be a month or 2 before we actually get the information, and there's probably some smaller operators that still haven't reported yet. So you've got to wait for that to see whether, and as Greg Bond actually said, you've got to wait and see whether they're going to, whether it's a success, and then what you got to do. Now, I already had a number of people come to me and said, look, you need to put one with the Nullarbor, a cup with the Nullarbor, which I think made sense. We could have went before the Nullarbor, but the problem is that the flight gets in 2 weeks before. We heard from the interstate trainers that they didn't want to race the week before because of the travel, and the horse that did race went below average and then came and bounced back the second week. So after just seemed natural to follow the Nullarbor, and then you've got to find the spot for the other cup. And we decided to put the Fremantle Cup behind it, so the Pacing Cup is the other benchmark, and the best place for it on all the figures is that November time slot. And we also spoke to a couple of trainers, and then sent the proposal to RAWA to then. I don't know what their internal process is. Obviously, it's discussion inside and to look at the feature race calendar, but I'm not part of that. And then they came back and approved it, and it was announced. But that also on that the same night we're going to run this year, the equivalent last year was the equivalent of the Cup field won by Magnificent Storm. So if you look at the overall scheme of things, they were ready to go in that time slot as well. And we more conferred with the trainers to see whether, well, as your horse is going to be ready for the race. And they're already there for that other race anyway. So it's maximising, and we've got those $200,000 race, which we announced last year, and they're just better in the lead up to the Pacing Cup as well, because you make that a mini carnival, and there's weeks in between it. So the program, the way it's worked out, is actually really good, and November's going to be the best time slot for it, and we're going to get the most bang for our buck for that. And when you're looking at return on investment, and RAWA are looking at return on investment. So the prize money they're dealing out, they want to know they're going to get the best return for it, and November's going to get the best return for it.
So the overall increase in turnover in November is better than
much better
in January.
Yeah, much better. Like and not talking small numbers as well. It's not like a matter of thousands. It's hundreds of thousands. So when we're talking of this, and if you start making these decisions, and we spoke last week about the race order. Now, if you start making the race order decisions as well, that's tens of thousands of dollars per week. It's the cumulative effect then starts to really make a difference. So yeah, one-off on certain things isn't a great deal, but if you're making the right decisions, cumulatively you're going to be putting millions back into the wagering. It's millions. It's not just tens of thousands. So if you make the right decisions, it's hundreds of thousands into millions.
Of course, time will tell.
Yeah. Well, you can only go off the data, but information is what we got to rely on. We know what is turnovering here. We know what's turnover here, and as you know, as a you just can't create sales.
Yeah.
Like
Black Friday's in November, and we can't recreate that in February.
No, you can't. There's not a chance.
No. So anyway, look, as I said, I personally think it's good that they've been separated. And I've always thought that, and we'd spoken about it at previous meetings, that I'm glad that they've been separated, because it was just a race with 2 weeks later, almost an identical field.
Yep.
It was good to get them apart. I'm thrilled that the Fremantle Cup's after the Nullarbor, because there's the potential there for national focus with those Eastern States horses. And we've got the Pacing Cup back in November, and we have seen some of the numbers around some of those other races in that October, November, December time period, and they're significantly higher. So you would have to assume that running the Premier WA race at that time would...
And we've already seen it, because we ran it there a couple of years ago, and it was, even taking for the COVID bounce, it's still massively bigger than whatever else. It was massive for both races. So,
and the change in distance, what
we always, I think 25 is the preferred distance. So usually it's whatever cup was second was 29. So it was 25 then 29, just because as a point of difference. So the Fremantle Cup would go to 20, because it was previously 29 when it was afterwards. So after the Nullarbor was 25, it's 29, and then we can put the Pacing Cup back to 25. So that was simply an internal discussion at RAWA, and we agree with it.
Okay. All right. Well,
that was the RAWA decision which we agreed with. So
okay.
Yeah. And so, but it all comes back to getting the best return for the industry, because we're under pressure, and as I said, there could be announcement of decreases for other jurisdictions. I mean, that's the pressure that we're under at the moment as far as wagering, and the only source of income for the distribution and stakes is off-course wagering, which is 90% Eastern States. That's the other thing that people have got to realise. 90% of our wagering on WA, 85 to 90% is Eastern States.
And we certainly are under pressure, and we've all seen those numbers. And if something doesn't change, then
what do they say? Insanity is just doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
What do you think, Hayden? What's your thoughts on the separation of the Fremantle Cup and the WA Pacing Cup, and the potential change of one to April and one to just before Christmas?
I think it is good to get that disparity between the two now, because it is a conversation I have had with people in years gone past, that we virtually get an identical field for each race. We get a different barrier draw, perhaps a different result, but this way we get an additional flavour for the contest, which is always promising, and it also incentivises the inclusion of Eastern States horses, which is only going to add to the quality of the lineup. I guess the thing that people might be hesitant about is, you did touch on the fact that there was some consultation with some trainers, but I guess they probably hoped there would be more widespread consultation rather than just a couple of people being consulted on the matter. But I think it is a good move.
Yeah, I agree. And you could see on Twitter that there was a lot of people that weren't happy about there wasn't wide enough consultation around the process. But okay.
But there was no. Well, I haven't heard a cogent argument of why to move though. Why not to move? It's just make January better, and it's like Can you make January better than December, November in your business?
No.
It's not as easy. And if it was easy, do you think Sportsbet, Ladbrokes, and already wouldn't be doing it? Like, these are multi-billion-dollar companies that generate wagering for a living. It's not simple of just going, we'll just make it better. It's like, we'll make your horse run faster. Like, it's not as simple as that. You've got to look at the data and then place your races in the best possible area to get the most amount out of it, and that's the way it is.
On the base level of it, I think it's comes down to a psychological thing that humans, it's in our nature to do what is traditional, what is routine, and that has been the case forever. Fremantle Cup and the WA Pacing Cup have been...
They have moved around a fair bit, though.
They have, but they've always been together.
Not really. No, they have separated before in the past, and I've spoken to Alan Parker about this and different things, whereas they have run in different times and whatever else. At one stage, I think the Fremantle Cup was in November, I think, and then they moved it to January to be part of the Pacing Cup. So there has been times where they haven't been quite aligned, but also the Pacing Cup's jumped around. It was New Year's Eve at one stage and whatever else. It's been in different stages, and then with the calendar changes, so we've moved the Inter-Dominion into that area because it's a better waging area and you get the first crack at them. I know that a few people want to move it back into after the Miracle Mile now at different stages, but once again, that's one of the reasons. Well, for the Western Trilogy, it's got to line up for all three, and putting the Western Trilogy there has changed the calendar immensely, because now all of a sudden we've got a peak in April, which we never had, because horses used to go out in January, like February after the Pacing Cup, and they've had a long campaign. So now it's actually changed it a little bit as well of that calendar. So there's always evolutions of the calendar. We've changed the 2- and 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds to maximise that calendar, and there is changes, and wagering's changed immensely over the last 5 years, let alone 10 years, like massive amounts. It's massive.
There was an amazing difference it made to the Western Gateway Pace last year.
Yeah, October. Moved it to October, and it's in the top 10
of
all time.
Yeah, it's amazing. And that was just a move from earlier in the year to that sort of October, November.
Not quite a performing area for it to October, November, December, which is where our best wagering is. So you're getting more bang for your buck there, and then that leads into the Derby, which was a good performing race regardless. So we've got to make sure that we get the most out of these races as far as wagering goes, because don't worry, the other two codes think we're getting too much money.
Well, the other thing is, obviously you have touched on that turnover is the focal point and it's the catalyst for everything. But I think the point that some people are raising is that if they want to go and watch the race, and people that are passionate about these races are the ones that do want to go and watch them, it is the best time as a spectator to watch them in January when the weather is fine, we saw.
November's not fine?
No, but this move to April, we saw the sour conditions.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. But that's different. The Cup's going from January to November. It's not like, and Western Gateway did move from whatever to October and turned over enormous. And the problem with April is, for the Nullarbor and then the Fremantle Cup, is the Nullarbor was a wet night. The week after was 26 degrees or something, and sunny, and so April's got to be a little bit of for on course is got to be a little bit of an issue with the weather, but of course it's proven that it's actually worked, particularly for the whole carnival. So you got the dogs and the gallops, and the spotlight comes onto WA for that time, and the same with the Pacing Cup now, where it is. That's where the thoroughbreds are kicking off the pinnacles, and also you're off the back of the Melbourne Cup, so people are in a racing time frame as well. So There's a whole host of reasons why November, December is much better than January for wagering, and not just economic, but also racing conditions.
I know what Hayden means. I mean, there's nothing better than being in Gloucester Park in January and that nice, warm, balmy.
It's those long days. You're there at 7 or 8 o'clock and you've still got the sun, which is setting across the river there. It's a beautiful, picturesque scene at the park.
It certainly is. But the problem is if it doesn't maximise the turnover, then you've just got to sacrifice that you can't have those big races in that particular time of year.
I absolutely understand. I'm just presenting the cases for that.
You realise pre-Christmas is summer, though, don't you?
I do realise that, Michael, yes.
It's not as if it's not summer.
No, well, we have the Golden Nugget.
That's right.
In the lead-up, and that's...
Yeah. It's a great time of year.
Yeah, it's a great time, and it's one of the best 4-year-old races in Australia.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, this segment, Morts, is brought to you by Loans. Was that a good segue? Loans 123, car loans, debt consolidations, all your personal finance. Who do you see?
Didn't need him last week. Steve Sell, the nude nut.
That courtesy of the multi.
Oh, courtesy of Nazi Vera.
Nazi Vera, but the multi helped.
Yes, it did.
The multi helped. Loans123.com.au or
1800 100 100.
And I'm tipping we won't need it this week either.
I don't think so. I think we're pretty confident, and good steer there by Team Bond.
And we'll try and get the wagering up with our tips.
Well,
because once we get a winner, we reinvest.
Yeah, and I think Hayden might have learned his lesson after last week.
Hopefully he's got something for us at the end of the show.
He just kept galloping.
We've got to move on because Hayden's got a prior commitment we've got to get to. So it's time to take a break. Tell you what, we mentioned Mighty Conqueror and Shockwave. It actually went to the stewards' room. It was only a 3-horse field, but what a race it was in the end. Here is Shockwave just prevailing over Mighty Conqueror.
Of Mighty Conqueror, who's trying to lift. It's been a brave effort, but Shockwave, he's still got that metre in front of Mighty Conqueror. Shockwave the leader from Mighty Conqueror. Long gap to Cordero. Shockwave in front. Mighty Conqueror tries to come back. Shockwave just in front of Mighty Conqueror. A battle of attrition, but Shockwave with the nose in front, and he's done the job. The odds-on favourite, but you wouldn't want it over again. Shockwave by half ahead to Mighty Conqueror.
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
Good job to get into fourth place as they corner into the straight. Court Can Run in front. Brought to Light is trying hard on the outside. Court Can Run 28.7 third quarter in front, holding Brought to Light at bay, and they're well clear of Star of the Galaxy on the back foot, but in front the favourite Court Can Run's going to do enough and wins by 2.5 metres. Second home Brought to Light was a really good run.
Yeah, that was a double for Dylan Edgerton Green. Morts.
That's what happens.
Come on the show and get a double, and the feature double.
Training and driving.
Yeah, good performance. Nazi Vera was very good. How much did you have on? You must be still counting.
Yeah, I am. I really liked it. It runs into the race, and like Dylan owned up to probably driver error, but now it's a good solid win. Won well.
Yeah, outstanding. And
went a long way from home, though.
Yeah. No, it was It was the Western Crown double to Dylan Edgerton Green. Now, this segment, Morts, is brought to you by Retrovision, your local WA electrical appliance specialist. RAC members receive an additional 5% every day on the best price.
Certainly do, and it's our end of financial year half-yearly clearance, so there is plenty happening in store at Retrovision. Get into your local store, and if you're an RAC member, as you said, Michael, they'll save an additional 5% every day at Retrovision.
Don't we love the end of financial year sales?
Yes, and I'll just give you a little tip if you want to have a little bit of a purchase of anything, Michael.
Yeah.
Just tune into the Retrovision website on Tuesday night.
So while I'm watching Gloucester Park, the 10-race card at Gloucester Park.
Correct.
Just have it going in the background with the Tab Touch.
Just have a look at the Retrovision website. We've got a dusk till dawn sale.
Okay.
So if you need
Tuesday
something,
night.
hop on by. That's a bit of inside information there.
There we go. We like inside information. Hopefully we find some inside information with our man Scott Bomber Hill. Bomber, how are you this fine evening?
Very well, thanks, Rads. Looking forward to tomorrow night.
Yeah, 9-race card. Tell you what, it's been a bit tough of late, Bomber.
Yeah, it has. We've been able to find a winner here and there, but we haven't been able to put 3 or 4 together. But pretty keen on 3 of these tomorrow night. So hopefully tomorrow night's the night.
Yes,
I like it. All right, let's get into it.
Let's get into it, and we start with race number 2 at Gloucester Park tomorrow night, and it is the Beaurivage Open through July pace. And as we have a look at the market, we have American Bullet at $15, Classic Choice at $170, Rockstar Rebel $9, Stamford at $6.50, Henrik Larsson $15, Master Publisher $11, Regal Cheval $51, Moonlight Drive $8, Power and Grace $26, Medieval Man $34, Carrera Mac at $26, and Wait for the Bell at $34. Bomber, what do we have in race number 2 at Gloucester Park tomorrow night to kick us off?
Yeah, landed on the favourite here, Classic Choice. He's a horse I like when he gets a chance to lead, and he's quick enough off the arm here to hold up, I think. There is some speed to his outside in Rockstar Rebel, Stamford and Regal Cheval, but ultimately that could actually help him. I don't think with the amount of speed underneath them that they will go handlebars down. So it might allow him an easy enough lead so that he doesn't get reefing and tearing as he sometimes can. And on the pegs in front, he can rip a 56 last half around here, and if that's the case, it's going to be pretty hard to get around. He's a horse I love to be on in front, and tomorrow night's no exception.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting start, Bomber. As you said, there is a bit of pace there, so I guess we'll know pretty quickly whether we're collecting. So race 2, number 2, Classic Choice for Barry Howlett, driven by Chris Lewis. What's the staking plan, Bomber?
Yeah, he's a 3-unit bet. I wouldn't be rushing in at the $1.70. I think he could drift marginally. Certainly don't think he'll get less than $1.70, but pretty keen he'll get the job done.
All right, that's race number 2 at Gloucester Park. The next race, and I'll tell you what, I can't wait for the Christmas in July buffet at Beaurivage, Morts. You'll be there at some stage, won't you?
Any time in the Beaurivage is great, but Christmas in July is outstanding.
Yeah, book now through gloucesterpark.com.au. But this race number 4 is the Beaurivage Buffet Dining Standing Start, and it's the open class standing start, and it's a really good race. We got Alcipi's Delight at $41. Soho Down Jones at $4, Without the Tar at $26, Arden's Horizon at $15, Awaiting Instructions $101. Himself is the favourite at $2.30, and Greg Bond seemed quietly confident that he can get the job done. $2.30 about himself and favourite. Middle Page $13, I'm a 5-Star General at $10, Babyface Adder at $41, and coming off the back mark of 60 metres is Magnificent Storm before he heads to Queensland, and he's at $3. Bomber, how do you see this stand start going?
Yeah, well, I'm glad Bondi's keen, because I'm very keen himself. I think it's a huge advantage over Magnificent Storm, and I think he can maintain it. He'll step safely, and Denny will negotiate his way off the fence pretty quickly, and he'll roll forward, and whether he's in the breeze or in front, he's only got to beat one horse, and I think Denny will rate him to do that. Magnificent Storm looks to get into the race at some point, and himself will either, if he does come and he's in the breeze, he'll roll to the top, and I think he's the superior stayer, so he can be driven pretty aggressively through these sectionals to make it pretty hard for Magnificent Storm, and he'll run a 55 and change last half, and it's going to make it bloody hard for Magnificent Storm. So I think in front, all from the breeze, himself, he's the one to beat.
Yes, just has to step, you would think, and very, very hard to beat indeed. Some other good horses in the race which might roll along fairly quickly as well. Arden's Horizon, Soho Dow Jones, so it should be a fairly truly run race, which is just going to make it hard for Magnificent Storm. Like I said at the start, Bomber, that's a fair amount of distance to give up, 50 metres to a quality horse like himself. So in race 4, number 6, the stepper himself, what's the staking plan, Bomber?
Yeah, fully agree with you, Mort. I think it's just mathematically impossible for Magnificent Storm if they run this as I expect. So, yeah, 3-unit bet himself. I think he'll just win.
Yeah, you think he's formed through he won the Gold Nugget, but then he's formed through the 2 cups. He wasn't beaten far, and he did a lot of work in the Fremantle Cup, and yeah, he's certainly right up to the the horses coming through, and yeah, he's going to be hard to beat at the 2:30. All right, it's time to take a break. We'll come back and preview 2 more races plus the multi, but the Kerry Clark, the Group 3 level, $50,000 is the feature event tomorrow night at Gloucester Park, and we'll hear from the favourite. We'll listen to her victory last week where she was absolutely awesome. But let's go to the break and listen to another really good mare who's got picket fences, and it was great to see the Hall colours win the I'm the Mighty Quinn and Ashane Girl, who goes around at $15 tomorrow night up against a great mare in Wonderful to Fly. But as we go to the break, let's listen to another win for Ashane Girl.
Found nothing. Rock on top. Goodfellas out wider. Getting through the centre is He's a Cool Mac. Into the straight though. Ashane Girl is clear from Rock on top and then Goodfellas. Ashane Girl went through in 28.5 in front. Rock on top's cutting it down. It's Ashane Girl in front. Rock on top will lunge, but Ashane Girl's hanging on. Ashane Girl in front of Rock on top. That's been a super win. Ashane Girl by half a head to Rock on top. And 8 metres.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley.
Get out, taking the Mickey out wider, but have a look at this. Wonderful to Fly. She is an exceptional mare. Bounding away is about 20 metres in front of Steno. About 25 metres away next is Miss Boudica. Miss Lamar trying to cut her down. But Wonderful to Fly is going to absolutely bolt in and wins, pulling up by about 10 metres to Steno.
How good was that?
Like I said at the start, Michael, she's gone to another level. Absolute another level.
Great for Shane Young.
Yeah, terrific. Done a great job with this man.
And hope he goes east and takes him on, because, you know, she keeps on going to another level, as you say, and continues to improve. Steno's no slouch, and couldn't keep her back. like yeah. it was staggering. Like just couldn't get anywhere near her. So good to see a wonderful and a double west spread. Like, how good is to see these west bred horses that continue and improve, and you know yourself, Never Ending's a west bred is the Australian Horse of the Year, but tell you what, to have a mare like her going so good, it'd be good to see her go over and tackle them.
Certainly would, and it's amazing once the mares get in form, they can.
Oh, don't they stay there?
Yeah, they can stay there.
But she just seems and
she's
tough, but she's I reckon she's more adaptable. She's faster than she is tough, which is saying something.
No, she's really improved.
Yeah, anyway.
If that's possible, because she was outstanding before, but she's just gone to that next level. And tomorrow night just looks a...
And he's such a good bloke, Shane Young, as well. Like, it's great to see that she's doing it for the team as well. So great to have Wonderful Fly doing... continued, as you say, go to another level. Now, talking of going to another level, there is only one work boot that you want, Morts, and it's steel blue. Built for comfort, made for work, and they are the best work boots in the business.
They are a mark of true skill, Michael. They are a mark of true skill. They are just... Well, they're backed by a 30-day, 100% comfort guarantee. And as I said last week, that big wave surfer, I did check it out. He doesn't actually wear them when he rides the surfboard.
Okay, so you've checked it out.
Yes, I have. But he actually makes furniture in a factory, and that's what he wears, the steel blues. So it doesn't matter who you are, there is a steel blue for you. Yeah,
and if you watch all the Foxtel shows, they're all wearing them on the Foxtel shows as well, like in those where they get the houses and improve them and stuff like that.
Okay, I didn't think that'd be you, Michael.
Yeah, no, I'm big reality TV me, Morts. You know that.
No, I meant I couldn't.
Oh, no, I watch what I can't do.
I was going to say I couldn't see your renovation.
Which is why I watch harness racing. All right, let's get into the next race we're going to have a look at here in the preview, and it's race number 8. And as we have a look at the market for race number 8 from Tab Touch, and it is Sahara Storm at $2. Vintage Blue at $5.50, The Kraken $14, Better Start Dreaming $12, Cherish the Memories $8, Make It Happen $16, Run for Mercy at $6, and Springline at $8. Bomber, Christmas functions at Gloucester Park, Mobile Pace, which way are we going?
Yeah, a bit of value here in number 7, Run for Mercy. I'm hoping she'll be the beneficiary of a really fast front line here. She's entirely dependent upon the race being ran upside down, but if that scenario unfolds, she can be supreme late with her ability to finish off in these hot mile races. I don't think there's been a race she's competed in this prep that she hasn't made up ground, and that said, she really doesn't have the tactical ability to put herself into the races, so she is relying on a really fast first half here, and then just looking to hit the line late. But at the price with a really, really fast front line, I think she's well worth a bet.
Certainly one of those races, Bomber. It's very wide open. There's a number of chances. Sahara Storm, the favourite, out of the one at $2, but the Gemma Heyman stable has been going exceptionally well, and Chris Boak aboard. So race 8, number 7, Run for Mercy. What's the staking plan there?
Yeah, just the 1 unit bet. As I said, she does need a fair bit to go away, but I think many of these drivers will know that, Sahara Storm, we've seen her walk out from 1. She, as good as she is off the gate generally, 1's probably not really her gate, and I think there'll be a few looking to take advantage of that, so hopefully they just go crazy.
All right, the race we're going to look at last is the last race, race number 9 at Gloucester Park tomorrow night, and it is the Garrard's Horse and Hound Mobile Pace for the 2-year-old fillies, and we have Mania at $5, San Remo Beach at $1.80, Fill the Jug at $1.01. You can scratch Princess Katie, In a Wink at $3.20, and Maddie Lou, who's unbeaten, at $4.20. 2-year-old fillies to finish off the night. How'd you see it, Bomber?
Yeah, pretty keen, this one, San Remo Beach. I thought she was really impressive last week when resuming. She was sort of pushed off the track there about the 700 and then had to balance up, and she was really brave and strong through the line. I know that In a Wink visually pulled many lengths off her late, but I thought they each did the work in the race at different stages, and San Remo Beach almost certainly in front here. She can make it a true staying test, and that looks to be her go. So she led comfortably from wide on the track at her only victory, so I think she'll hold up easily enough and make it pretty hard for In a Wink. I'm pretty keen that she'll go all the way.
Yeah, interesting race. Some good chances in there, but I think the draw may be the deciding factor in the end, as you said, Bomber. So to round out the night at Gloucester Park, race 9, number 2, San Remo Beach, Hayden DeCampo, stable flying. What's the staking plan?
Yeah, 3 unit bet, I agree. I think reverse the barriers, you probably reverse the result, but she's going to give us a great side in front.
All right, and what about a multi-Bomber on the 9-race card? What have you got for us?
Yeah, I thought 3-legger. We'll go race 1, number 1, Mr. Smarty. He should just lead and win. He looks pretty good, this guy. And into race 5, number 10, 18 Carat for the place. She's a sensational place price, this mare. I just can't see how she doesn't run second in this race. I think the $1.65 she's currently showing is ridiculous price. Into race 7, number 1, Prince of Pleasure, who, he should just lead and win as well. I think Finvara probably drops on his back, and that'll be the end of that. So, hopefully a nice little 3-legger to have another multi up for us. All
right, so we've got about $1.30 into $1.65, as you say, is a great price, into $1.22. It's about $2.60 for the 3-leg all up for those 3 paces tomorrow night. Bomber, mate, actually saying that, the first race, that 3-hour race, even though Hall's got 4, I think, in it, it's a very good race with his horse, Skylord. And tell you what, Fessup is one of the most improved horses in the state from his 2-year-old to his 3-year-old year. It's a great race, the 3-year-old, and there's been some really good 3-year-old races of late around the state.
Geez, the 3-year-old ranks are just so strong, aren't they? Like, you probably go sort of 12, 14 deep.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous, the wealth there. But, this one looks pretty smart, and, just the barrier draw just looks pretty hard for him to be beaten.
Yep, that's the way it is tomorrow night. But 9-race card, the first at 5:42 at Gloucester Park tomorrow night. Bomber, I hope we've found a few winners. We're not going to, myself and Morts are both off next week. So Hayden will be here, and maybe Glenmore, if we can corral Glenmore. But you'll be back next week, Bomber. Hopefully you can tip a few more winners then.
Hope so. Hopefully we come off a big week this week and, go again next week.
Beautiful. Thanks, Bomber. Talk to you. I won't talk to you next week, but Hayden will.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks, guys. Have a great weekend.
There we go. Scott Bomber Hill, our man with all the tips. And you mentioned last week, Bomber, the Bomber got his multi up which was a big kick, and one of those was Faster Than Dad. He actually said, I think he said something like, we're going to put him in a place, but he's a great winning chance. And certainly proved very pathetic. And as we go through, let's go to last week. And Faster Than Dad to take out race number 3 last week for Michael George and Stewie McDonald.
Around the bend, the Code Breaker has got the front from El Daytona and Faster Than Dad, and then came Beyond Bling in the straight. The Code Breaker in front, El Daytona, and now Faster Than Dad. Faster Than Dad finishing hard, has raced up to El Daytona, taken the lead, and Faster Than Dad coming away from El Daytona to win it nicely. Faster Than Dad by 2 metres to El Daytona.
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
Price with a good break around the turn. High Price leads by 6 metres. He's never been better. All Is Well continues to run down the outside. High Price in front. All Is Well's down the outside with He's Never Been Better. High Price just in front from All Is Well. High Price clinging on. All Is Well trying to get there, but High Price is in front of All Is Well, and High Price has won by head to All Is Well. 2 metres away.
We mentioned how good the 3-year-olds are. Morts and High Price defeating All Is Well. Never Been Better in third, who backs up tomorrow night. But again, some nice 3-year-olds going around. As Bomber said, the depth is...
It's amazing.
Over a dozen.
It really is. It's amazing. Looking forward to going to be a great WA Derby. And
rolling through the 3-year-old Pearl, Western Gateway. Well, we've had the Pearl, but the Western Gateway and the Westbred Classic, and into the Derby is going to be fantastic. But tell you what, Hall's got a few. High Price. He's not in tomorrow night, but there's a few going around.
Very, very smart ones.
Mate, this segment is brought to you by our good friends at Bayswater Mazda. Mort's driving is better at Bayswater Mazda, corner of Guildford and Garrett Roads.
Certainly is.
You know better than anyone else.
Economical, comfortable, reliable.
Yeah.
And
all the above.
No better place to get your Mazda than Bayswater Mazda, because driving is better with a Bayswater Mazda, Michael.
Yep, and they got that new family mini SUV that's come out. What does the leader of the opposition drive?
She's got the CX-30.
Yeah,
she does.
Great car.
She goes all right. So does the car. But she's got the CX-30, which is lovely car, and
big listener of the show.
Yes, I won't get in trouble for that. That's for sure. But plenty of cars down there at Bayswater Mazda. Drove past the other day into financial year, so get down there. They've got some good clearance opportunities. Yeah, great place to go and get your Mazda. As you said, great reliable cars are the Mazdas. All right. A big hello to Hayden King. Had a little bit of discussion previously, but Hayden, welcome back to the program. How are you?
I'm well. You guys are well, as I've seen.
Yes. Very well. And now you're going out tonight to see the play, which is, whereabouts is that?
I think it's the Old Mill. Well, that's where I'm going anyway.
Right. Well, I hope it's there for you.
Yeah. Well,
that'd be good.
My mother and grandmother, I think, are coming with me.
Oh, beautiful.
I don't really know what's going on because Mum booked it in, so.
Oh.
Family outing.
Got to do the family outing.
Yep.
Indeed it is. All right. What do you got for us? Because we do have to get going. We've got Northam Saturday night and
Friday.
Friday night. Sorry, you've got Northam tomorrow night with Gloucester Park, and it is a 8-race card, the first at 5:54. Narrogin Saturday, and it is a 7-race card, the first at 5:37. And then we got Pinjarra on Monday, which is a 9-race card, the first at 12:03, and 10 races again at Gloucester Park on Tuesday, the first at 5:20. Where are we going to find a winner?
I'm just going to go to Northam tomorrow. I will say, Narrogin, though, on Saturday, that's the earliest finish time I've ever seen on a Saturday night pacing fixture. That's really good for everyone heading out there. They'll be back in Perth probably before 11 o'clock.
Yeah, well, the first is at 5:37, which is early for a Saturday night. Normally they're a little bit later. And the last, as you say, 8:22 for the 7 races. So, so everyone getting back to Byford and Pinjarra will actually be back earlier than normal.
Yeah, and then they can have a nice sleep in on Sunday.
For the trials.
Yeah.
Never stops. What do you got for us at Northam on Friday night? Friday, June 23, as I said, the 8 races, the first at 5:54. In the first race, we've got On the Back Foot. I see on the harness website 380. Any chance of getting that?
Don't think so. I think he's probably the one to beat. I think the overs in the race is probably Rolling in Class if you wanted to have something small. He's the outsider of the field, and I don't think he should be. I think he's got at least half of them covered. So I am tipping On the Back Foot on top, though. So that's how you know he's got none.
He's good. He's going ready. Got inside mail. When the owner's tipping.
Well, I haven't spoken to Michael at all. He'll probably message me after listening to this and say he's got none or something.
I've never met a more confident person than Michael. He'll be tipping it.
Have you met Junior?
And together.
Together, that's a potent mix.
Yes, indeed.
I think they could solve world peace.
I hope so. Can they?
Okay, let's move on. Race number 3 is where we're starting the real business. Number 2, Dazzling Jewel, should ping straight to the front. Lang Inwood's got this horse going really well, 1780 metres. Mr. Riggers has very little gate speed, should get straight across, and that looks the end of it. He has got this horse going so well that she's the best in this race. And race 3, number 2, Dazzling Jewel, she's even money. She shouldn't be. She'll firm up and should be winning. Race number 5, I thought Ziania could work forward here. Captain Courageous handed up last time to Gordon, who's drawn outside of Ziania. So I thought Ziania could keep Gordon wide, press forward, find the front and give a good sight there at each way odds. So race 5, number 5, Ziania.
Currently 15. Well, there's $15 in the...
We'll take half that.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Race number 6. Now, this is an interesting race. You Better Follow Me and Relum, clearly the 2 class horses. But Bell's Full Draws 1 has gate speed. You Better Follow Me as a horse they really don't like to lead on. And Relum's drawn the second row. So Bell's Full may be the leader and could give a side. Even if he finds the other 2 a bit better, he can still run 2 minutes leading around Northam. And that's good enough to at least fill the money. So we could back him more the place. But race 6, number 1, Bell's Full. And in the last, race 8, First Airborne looks the one to beat, but is very short. Carmela Domenica, a big place chance in a race like this. I'd be backing her place heavy or place exclusively. She's going well enough to at least run into the money from a softish draw in a weak race. So race 8, number 7, Carmela Domenica on the place side.
You sound fairly confident tomorrow night.
I do like this meeting at Northam.
Yeah, it is good making.
I'll be much happier if On the Back Foot wins the field.
Get off on the front foot.
Well, he
and during the Ashes series, the topical tip off the back foot.
Nice.
There you go.
Did you see?
You could have used that as your cryptic clue.
Well,
but I've just stolen it from you.
Yeah. Well, you're a thinking man. We'll call you Rodan.
I wouldn't go that far.
Do you have a cryptic clue this week? No,
because I'm doing the Sky for Gloucester Park tomorrow, so I'm doing the pre-race. So I'll have all my tips for the 9 races there. So instead of a cryptic clue, you can tune in on Sky and I'll find you something.
Sky 1 late mail.
I tell you what, I didn't really find anything at a massive price there at Gloucester Park tomorrow night. And race 8, that race you talked about as being tough, that did my absolute head in doing the form on that race. I was stuck on it for probably half an hour, didn't get any answers, and I think that's probably my best value of the night has come up in that race. So that goes to tell you that I haven't really found anything at a price tomorrow. But there are some horses I'm pretty confident about at the shorter odds.
Now, do we have time for... Or you got to get to the show with Nana and Mum, or
I think we'll leave it this week.
Okay. Don't want to keep them waiting. Looking forward to seeing that play, which would be good. We'll hear all about it.
I want to run down on Mr. Darcy.
Yeah.
Next week. I know how it ends. So
well, I actually don't. I've never read Pride and Prejudice or anything, so
you'll enjoy.
I'll find out more.
The sisters.
Good luck on tomorrow night with your horse.
Thanks.
Hope it goes well.
Good luck with yours early next week.
Thank you. Yes, keep our fingers crossed.
What do you got early next week?
Seaside Rose.
Seaside Rose and...
I haven't seen
Mickey Beach.
Mickey's Beach.
Oh, okay. Debuting. Mickey's Beach.
Yeah, looking
Child
forward to
okay?
This
child okay? Bit of a problem child?
Yeah, no, Justin was...
Hopefully Justin's new baby is not as... It doesn't cause as many issues.
Yeah,
Polly doesn't
absolutely.
cause as many issues as Mickey.
No, he was very patient with the horse, so we finally got him to the track, and we look forward to seeing him go around at Pinjarra with Seaside Rose in the first couple there on Monday. So,
outstanding.
Hey, I will leave you with one thing.
Okay.
Race number 4 at Gloucester Park tomorrow night, that stand start with Magnificent Storm in it.
Yep.
That's going to be a cracking race. That's going to be a top race. And I'm tipping something that no one else I've heard tip yet. So
Okay. We're going to tune into Sky Channel, Sky 1.
Yeah. Oh, you're not going to tell us now?
No.
Yeah, okay.
Right.
You can wait.
Yeah.
I was going to just try and stir the pot and say Magnificent Storm can't win, but then I thought, that can only end badly for me. Like, I don't actually believe it, but I just thought,
No, he certainly can, and it should be a great race. Here's hoping they all step, and it'll be a fascinating race.
Yeah. The dulcet tones of Hayden King tomorrow night on Sky 1, no doubt. Jason Lincoln will probably be tipping some greyhound race somewhere, and you can follow in.
Yeah, hopefully the Wizard.
The Wiz.
And King.
Spoke to the Wiz this week. Give me a call.
Good.
Going well.
I saw him here at the Nullarbor. I hadn't seen him in 5 years before.
Yeah,
that.
no, he's going well. And he came over for the Sandgroper.
Yep.
And yes, but he's going well, the Wiz. He's a good man.
Okay, we've got to get out of here.
We do. We have to.
We're off.
Have to get you. All right, Hayden, thanks for your time.
No worries.
Morts, thanks for your time.
Thank
Good
you,
luck,
Michael.
Good luck, Pinge on Monday.
Thank you.
Congratulations to Justin and Jacqueline on
excellent
the safe arrival of Polly. And thank you, everyone, for listening. Until next week, it's bye for now.